What's up, everybody? Welcome to Live, Love, Legendary Creatures podcast here on the Old Cranky Man Collectibles channel. My name is Blake, and I am here with my friends Stefan and Cam. What's up, dudes?
Hi.
Hi there.
My microphone came up to meet me.
Is it like, do you have it on a, like, zoop? Is it rigged?
No, there's
is
a
it rigged
small
to
person under my table that like just brings it up to me every once in a while. And I can't
No, stop it!
get. No, we're good. We're good. Okay, we're fine.
You tell the small person to calm down. Is it?
Yeah.
Is it Gimli?
Glowing.
They called it a mine.
Mine.
A mine.
Mine.
How's it going?
Just imagine that for like 3 hours.
What?
No, just imagine that like 5 seconds for like 3 hours.
Put it up.
Yeah.
Put it up.
we did that. Yeah.
That was us.
Uh,
Because I opened the fancy schmancy
Yeah.
full art, pretty Minds of Moria, and then
I'm pretty sure there was also like
I
a
couldn't
lot
help
of
myself.
cast it into the fire.
It was a touch-
Isildur. No. No.
Sweet set though, to be
Very
honest.
fun.
Very fun.
Yeah.
Very flavorful.
I appreciate that they focused on the flavor over like pushing power, even though it's a direct to modern set. Like
They gave us one though.
the ring.
Oh, two.
Well,
yeah.
what's the other one? Oh, the Bowmaster
The elephant in the room.
card's dope. Like very good.
I saw a sweet
or
meme.
bad.
I saw a sweet meme today that was like just a layout of foil bowmasters and orc army tokens, and it said "Meat's back on the menu, boys."
I love that.
Love to see it.
I think how good or bad you find that card is dependent on how much you plan on casting Brainstorm or zeroing Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Yeah, I don't know where I stand.
It's a Punisher card.
Without getting into the whole ban discussion
Oh
thing
my
again,
God.
I think
We're not going to talk about that right now.
I think it's fine.
Them putting
If you don't like it, don't play it. Like there's certain pods where it just isn't going to do anything anyway. So
No.
there's a place for that card, and it's probably not at a commander table.
No, I think Jim from the Spike Feeders had a really good thread on it as well.
What was that?
Yeah, I read that.
About their discussions about the Orcus Bowmaster and Mirkwood Bats.
Mm.
Like why it's not banned and their thought process.
Mirkwood Bats is a common, which means it's legal in Pauper. I saw a sweet Pauper deck with 4 Mirkwood Bats in it today.
Yeah. There was Snapbolt was running it on stream last night. He had like this Jund tokens deck that was sick.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, it was
Garden, Jund Gardens.
Yeah, it was it performed about as well as a 3-color deck does. Like Deadly Dispute is easily the best card in the deck, and it's not close.
Yeah, that card's cracked.
Because it gets it going and coming. Because you sacrifice something.
Yep,
and
then it makes a
trigger,
token.
and then it makes a token, so it triggers again.
Draw 2, deal 2. Let's go.
Yeah, make token and you just pump your treasure into each other. It's insanity, and you're just refilling your hand every time.
And right, because like you can sack the treasure too, so it's basically lightning bolt plus draw 2 cards.
Yeah, it's absurd.
Yep.
But that's in Commander. Obviously, you have one copy of this card, and it's going to die to a stiff breeze. Like,
yeah.
All right, so getting into the main meat of the subject, I played Commander on Monday with y'all.
Yes. Okay. So let's talk about that. So we finally got Stefan to play a game of Commander with us. Stefan hasn't played Commander in probably 2 years?
It's been about a year and a half. Yeah.
Okay.
I love Commander.
It's been
I haven't had time for it.
while. Yes. Your schedule is not conducive to the nights that we play on. So
yeah,
he came, he played, he conquered. Actually, he didn't. He lost, but that's okay.
My participation in this show sort of predicates that I play Commander, and so it's.
So let's talk about the experience. How was it? Did you enjoy yourself?
I enjoyed hanging out with my friends and sort of dirtling around with stuff, and then just kind of taking game actions and not really trying to win, but also hoping I don't lose. Like I just wanted to do a lot of stuff, and y'all let me do a lot of stuff, and I appreciate you for that.
I'm gonna say this, that I haven't seen you have that much fun playing Magic in years. Actual years.
It's easy to have fun when all of the pressure is off.
Mm-hmm.
Like playing comp Magic, which is all that I've played for the last couple of years, has sort of like addled my brain in a very specific way, where I did this to myself in a lot of ways because I wasn't super competitive for a very long time, and when I started playing Magic, I started playing in tournaments, I had to like adjust my thought process to be like, it's okay to win, and B, you want to win. And so that sort of became the thing that became synonymous with Magic for me. And it's sort of one of the reasons that drove me away from Commander a lot, because my mentality shifted pretty heavily towards competitive.
Right. You talk about this a lot in your article on the shameless plug MTG Dad's podcast Patreon. You talk about this a lot in that you tend to be, you know, skewed towards efficiency and winning and powerful Magic and things like that, and you have to meter your card selections based upon like playing the most fun game possible as opposed to the most efficient competitive game possible.
Yeah, that's the entirety of it, because you can only control so much in a game when you're playing a game. Like you're probably going to try to do the coolest and best thing while you're playing, and that's just Magic.
Mm-hmm.
But you can really control the pace of how your deck plays while you're building.
Yes.
And that way, if in your mind you're like, well, there's this combo that could win the game and immediately end it.
Right.
Do I really want to do that though?
No, not always.
Yeah. And so like, on Monday, I was playing Anya Falconwrath. I love that card because I get to cycle through my deck pretty quick.
Because your favorite card is Faithless Looting, and they printed Faithless Looting as a creature, so let's go.
Yeah, and you get to do it a bunch every turn.
So this is it's red-black soup. How many Madness cards do you have?
26 was what I had in the deck.
So I think that there was one turn where you like untapped her something like 7 or 8 times.
Yeah,
which was insane. So you've got this red-black mid-range kind of like just stuff deck with a lot of Madness cards in it to abuse Anya's untappy thing. But then also it does a lot of things that are like actively good when you're discarding cards. Like you've got a bunch of reanimation stuff.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Actual factual animate dead. Just all the really good reanimation spells, because I think that those cards are fun, and I prefer to target my opponents with them. Mm-hmm. Like at one point, Cam allowed his commander to go to his graveyard, which was mistake number 1.
You said, okay, excellent.
Yeah, I think I actually did say that.
That is what you said.
And then I was like, okay, animate dead targeting your commander. It didn't last long, but it was just very cool to do. Like I enjoyed it very much. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is sort of like the bread and butter of the thing I enjoy in Magic, and I wasn't really trying to win quickly. I had some like triggers from like creatures that pinged my opponents when I drew or discarded cards.
Yeah, so what are those? You have like
Psychosis Crawler.
Yep.
What is that? It's the new one from Modern Horizons 2. It's an enchantment that like whenever you discard a card, you deal a damage to something and you gain a life. I think it's like Fevered Insanity or something. And then the Minotaur Pirate that does it whenever you discard a card. Mm-hmm. And those are just like the fun cards that are like kind of enablers.
Yeah, they synergize with Anya. They're like an engine.
Yeah.
And then go ahead.
Oh, I just like it makes it so you don't feel bad not casting your madness spells. Mm-hmm. Go on.
And then you also have like my favorite card that's in the deck is Bone Miser.
That is the best card in the deck.
That card is insane.
I played it once and it died immediately, which was correct.
Yeah, I killed it because I didn't. I know what that thing can do if it goes unchecked.
Yeah, it just lets you, and like if we're talking about enablers for like discard, like I also have Archfiend Vifnir, and
Mm-hmm.
it's fun. I don't know. I have fun playing it. I'm pretty sure there was a point at which y'all like looked at me like I was doing the worst things in the world.
No, absolutely not. Like the thing about that deck is like your turns can sometimes take a really really long time.
Yeah, I try to go fast.
That's like the worst part about that deck, to be honest.
Yeah,
And it's so that's not even that bad, is what I mean.
oh yeah, I've played Dredge against Cam before, where my turns were like, I'm pretty sure at one point you just started picking up your cards because I was like, all right,
There's like
Dredge this.
so many triggers and so many replacement effects
Yeah.
and so many game actions that you have to take. It just takes a long time.
Yeah. So what were you on, Blake?
I can play my son, Skrelv the Defector Might.
The insect boy.
Yeah, he's a bug.
He's a bug.
Mostly I just sit there. The whole point of the deck is to like path to exile somebody's dumb thing so they don't win. That's basically all that I do in a game of Commander.
You draw a lot of cards.
Yeah, so there's a couple of really sick engines. Like I have Ivory Tower plus Well of Lost Dreams. And then I also have like there's some like really subtle artifact synergy. So when I started building this deck, Jeremiah said the best mono white decks are actually artifact decks, and I was like, yeah, it's true. You know, you got like Bomberman and stuff like that you can do, but
Second Sunrise kind of things.
not really about any of that. So yeah, there's Ivory Tower, Well of Lost Dreams, and then I have what is that? I can't remember what it's called. It's a 3-mana artifact that taps for a mana of any color, and then you can tap it and another artifact you control to draw and discard. I can't remember what it's called.
I didn't even know this was a card.
Yeah, it was. I didn't have Well of Lost Dreams going in that game. That was the card that I had going. And like Well of Lost Dreams gets out of control, especially with like Ivory Tower or a lifelink creature, because you can pay 5 and draw 5.
You have a lot of those too, just lifelink creatures.
Yeah. Well, every creature has lifelink.
Yeah, and what's that enchantment that's like if you gain life, you can pay 2 to draw?
Dawn of Hope.
That's the one. Yeah, it also makes your.
I had that in play too, I guess.
Yeah, that card's absurd, and like you can make clues off of the like some of your prison effects, which aren't like prison effects.
No, I have Search the Premises and
Yeah.
Search the what is that other one called? It's not Smothering Tithe.
No.
It's so geez, I can't remember what it's called. Search the Premises is whenever whenever a creature attacks you, and this card is whenever you attack.
Oh.
You make a clue.
So it's like the opposite.
I can't remember what it's called.
But you're making clues coming and going.
Yeah. It's just mono white cards I own, basically. It's really all that it is.
They're also like it's shockingly not like I don't know if this isn't. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's not an annoying deck. Like for a white deck, a lot of people will be like, "I want this to be like a good white deck."
Yeah,
so it's put all the annoying cards in it.
It's not. Yeah, it's not Staxy at all. I don't play like Draneth Magistrate is obnoxious. Smothering Tithe is obnoxious. I don't play those cards.
You do play Thalia, like the 3-mana Thalia.
Yes, because she's like, yeah, she's fine. She's not. The cards that I find are the most annoying are the ones that you have to ask your opponent a question.
Yeah.
Like where you have to say, do you pay the 2?
Or do you pay the 4?
Or like Draneth Magistrate that just completely turns off the entire point of the format.
Oh my god, that card. If there was a card to ban in Commander,
yeah,
it would be the one that makes you not play Commander.
I'm playing like stacks effects, but they're not the annoying ones. Like your non-basic lanes come into play tapped, your creatures come into play tapped. It just kind of is what it is. I don't have to ask you a question every time you do something.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and then Search the Premises. That's what that card's called.
Yeah.
So those, like Wraths. I have several Wraths.
As is wont in white.
Yeah, it's basically just to stop everybody from winning the game so that we can keep playing longer and have more fun.
I genuinely appreciated that.
No matter what, that's really the whole point of it, is to just keep people playing for as long as possible. Within a realm of reason. Like,
right.
like you said, it's not to a point where it's annoying. It's just keeps everybody's deck in check
until somebody casts Rise of the Dark Realms.
So yeah, I cannot do anything about that. Usually, I have to lean on Jeremiah to interact with the graveyard.
I had some stuff, I just couldn't find it.
Not something I'm very good at doing. What was I gonna say? I completely forgot. Yeah, so it's got the wraths. It's got the good removal spells, path, swords. It does have Heliod Ballista in it, but the only time that I ever use that is when it's just me and one player left and I want to win.
Yeah, just end it.
Like, there's several times where I have that card in my opening hand, or I have it in this first several turns of the game, and I could do it. I just choose not to because, again, the point is to keep playing for as long as possible. I think I've played probably a dozen games with that deck so far, and I've only won once. And I didn't even win with Heliod Ballista. I won with the Elishnorn.
Nice.
Just Elishnorn.
The flip one.
She's a saga on the back.
Yeah, card's good.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's sweet because you flip her over and she immediately puts like 15 power onto the board. And then the next turn she wraths all non-Phyrexians.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about that is like, there's so many Phyrexians in Magic now. It almost never completely wraths everybody except for me. I think the only Phyrexians that are in my deck are the Elishnorns and then Skrelv.
Yeah.
And then the incubator tokens that she makes when she flips over.
That's funny. It's a good card. Like, it's fun. That's the thing.
Yeah, she's sweet.
And like, if nothing else, the front half just kind of mucks math up on attacks enough to where people kind of want to attack other people.
Yeah, that's I was telling the story about how I won that game. So yeah, that's how I won that game. I made all the incubator tokens, and then when she flipped back over, whoever it was that I was playing against couldn't block because they would die to blocking. It just killed them either way. Like, blocking, you die, or you take damage and you die. Good game.
Love that.
And Cam.
What were you on, bud?
Cam, what were you playing, Cam?
I was playing Muldrotha Trade Binder. Just Muldrotha and 99 cards that I just had lying around.
It's okay. First of all, it's very pretty.
Oh yeah, the sleeves.
Give it a little bit of the
the credit it's due.
Yes, that is what I was trying to say. Give it the credit it's due. It's very pretty. He's got the altar sleeves, and it looks nice. You do
have the frog.
Yeah,
I think that's required.
I mean, yeah, it's a Sultai deck that can play out of its graveyard pretty easily. So I've got stuff like Spore Frog, like Kangaroo Bloom, Dance the Dead, Animate Dead Effects.
What's the thing? The witness protection.
Oh yeah,
witness protection.
That card's,
you made my commander a.
That card's real sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Did not appreciate that, Cameron.
Okay, Mr. Sire of Insanity.
Okay, but I did kill you with my commander, though.
For exactly 1 damage.
You are Anya. one life. And
Anya can also attack.
It's not recommended, but yeah.
So what else, Cam?
I mean, I kind of hate that there's not much to say about it. Like, it's just kind of a pile of Sultai cards.
What's the slice?
Like most of the time, I just kind of sit there and just play like reasonable stuff until I cast an Immersion Ultimatum. And I just make my opponent pick their poison.
Oh, okay. So you didn't do that.
Yeah.
Because I've never actually played against this deck before. So what is the Emergence Ultimatum line?
Most of the time it's just like I pick like just some random bullshit out of my deck, like Agent of Treachery, Bolas' Citadel, Jigmataxius.
Okay, just so it's not a situation where you die now. It's a situation where you're going to die eventually.
Agent of Treachery is sort of a fun card.
Yeah, like it's just like I pick some really good stuff out of my deck, and like I get 2 of them, 1 goes back in.
Oh, wait, did you cast that? And I was just not paying attention because I do remember seeing a pile of 3 cards and somebody picking an Agent of Treachery.
Yeah.
Or maybe
Camp stole something
No,
from me with an
I
agent.
cast a Mythos of Brokos, which is
Oh,
like
yeah, that is what it
the
is.
second version of that. Like you can entomb 2 cards, and then if you pay blue black as follows it, the like normal into the additional cost, or like as part of the cost, you can get 2 cards back from your graveyard to your hand.
Gotcha.
So I just threw an Agent of Treachery and a Dance of the Dead in my graveyard, and then I cast
Dance of the Dead.
The Dance of the Dead, the Animate Dead that were in my graveyard.
Dance of the Dead is my favorite reanimation spell, just because of the art. The art is so iconic. I have the Ice Age Deckmaster box, and it has what is the Guardian? The big hairy guy with the big eyeballs. The Guardian. He makes your artifacts indestructible. He's from Ice Age.
I'm trying to think of it. I know what you're talking about.
Okay, well the box has that on it, and it has Dance of the Dead on it. So like that art, I've had that since I started playing Magic. That was one of the very first products that I ever bought when I started playing Magic. And that art is so iconic to me. I love the Dance of the Dead art.
Is it one skeleton in a bunch of different poses, or is it a bunch of different skeletons dancing with each other?
Oh, I haven't heard this debate in a long time.
Because they all look the same. They're all wearing the same clothes.
I am of the opinion that it is a skeleton dancing, and you can see his ranges of motion. Or his movements, rather.
Yeah, it's not specified, because of the dead could just be one dead.
Yeah.
And it doesn't reanimate more than one creature.
No.
So.
And I don't even care that it's like actively worse than Animate Dead. That does not bother me at all.
It makes it bigger.
It does give it +1/+1, but it comes into play tapped, and you have to play 1 and a black to untap it every turn.
Yeah.
Regardless, the card is iconic.
Even a bad Animate Dead is still a very good Is still a very good card. Would you play Exhume?
No, I hate that card with a passion.
I'm asking Cam.
And Pauper maybe.
You're not playing in another format.
So, what was I gonna say?
I love Exhume. I love Exhume in Commander.
Your Muldrotha deck is like all permanents, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
There's like very, very few non-permanent spells, because you have like you had a Vraska Relic Seeker, which is a really, really sick planeswalker. That ultimate is nuts. What was that other planeswalker you had in play?
Probably Tavasat.
Yeah, it was Tavasat. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you did. You were just making tokens.
I stole Stefan's Liliana and sacked it to Tavish.
I was just checking the board with it, man. I was making people discard cards.
Which is something that your deck actively wants to do.
Yeah, I run Liliana of the Veil, arguably one of the best planeswalkers.
Yeah, there was a side discussion. So Jaleb was railbirding us throughout this whole game, and Stefan casts the Liliana of the Veil, and Jaleb makes the comment that it's one of the top 5 planeswalkers of all time. Stefan disagreed at first, I think. I don't know if we convinced you otherwise.
I don't know that I could list 5.
I had to think about it for a minute, but just because she has fallen out of favor in basically every format that she used to be really good in, I still think that she is solidly in the top 5 planeswalkers.
Really?
Yeah. I think she's solidly in there. Like, as far as in a vacuum is concerned, she is absolutely nuts.
Yeah, I agree. And as long as you build your deck right. So you have to have the right deck for her. I don't think that you just slime her into every deck.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. But I will also say that most planeswalkers are like that. Not all of them, but most of them are.
Yeah, there's one that makes a hamster that's very good. And you can just slam that in anything.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Like Wrenn and 6, you probably need to have like fetch lands.
I think Wrenn and 6 I mean, yeah, he's better with fetch lands. He's 2-mana planeswalker that goes off.
He doesn't need like I don't know that Wrenn and 6 is that great in.
There's been plenty of times where, oh man, I'll slay my Wrenn and 6 in Commander. There's been plenty of times where I have played a Wrenn and 6 with nothing in my graveyard to get back, and a card has been gas.
Really, just taking up on nothing.
Once you get to the point where you can ultimate him, and every instant and sorcery in your graveyard has retrace, it is out of control. So your opponent has to try to get rid of it.
It's fair. I suppose that's true, but I feel like in my mind, planeswalkers just die in Commander. Like in multiplayer games, planeswalkers like come down, they do a thing, and unless you're already like established board position and like if anybody wrathed, that's a great time to cast a planeswalker.
Sure.
But if you don't have a board position or your opponents have creatures that they can attack with, generally your planeswalker is going to come down, activate once, and then die.
It is a lot easier to kill a planeswalker in Commander than it is to kill a player because of the life total discrepancy. But I think that the planeswalkers that come down with a ton of loyalty on them are very, very hard to kill in Commander. So two that come to my head right away are Vraska Relic Seeker, because she comes down at 5 and goes up to 6.
Yeah, that's good.
That's a ton of loyalty.
Yep.
And then Teferi, the one that you get a plus every turn, Teferi Master of
5 mana.
No, he's 4 mana. Teferi Master of Time.
Oh, the blue one.
And then you can activate him at any time. You can activate an instant.
Yep.
So he comes down at 3, and then you +1 him every turn.
Yeah.
So by the time he gets back around to you, he has 7 loyalty counters on him, or 6. Card's nuts.
There's also a card called Oko, Thief of Crowns.
Yeah, that card is obnoxious in every context, no matter what.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of the cards of all time. I would say that the cards are easy to kill. And, like, why is it 3 mana? The card's absurd.
We could spend an entire podcast talking about Ogo.
No.
Jiminy Christmas! I can't wait to see Oko 2.0.
Yeah, would you put Oko in your deck, Cam?
Nah.
Good. Are you?
It's a very good planeswalker in Commander, but like it's just not fun to deal
It's
with.
obnoxious. Yeah,
it is borderline rude to play that card.
It's like you don't.
Yeah.
I would say that's a ruder card than a lot of the banned cards. If your opponent ramps into a biorhythm and like kills the table with like a super fast biorhythm, that's the nut draw.
Jeremiah has made it his mission. If they ever unban that card, he is going to get it banned again.
It's a billion mana. If it doesn't win you the game, I'd be upset.
Right. No,
you're green. It's like nothing.
You're right.
You still have to get there though. Like
I think Biorhythm and Raphaelos were both banned at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they were.
They were, yeah.
Those two cards together are pretty bonkers.
Even still, it's like, I don't know. I don't know that either of those cards are like, nobody's creating any unfun play patterns with those. Like, you're winning the game.
Okay, so here, we talked about this in Discord today. So we weren't talking about Commander, but I just want to read this. I just want to read this because this is an actual statement from Wizards of the Coast on what they think healthy play patterns consist of. Or sorry, these are things that Wizards of the Coast deems unhealthy play patterns.
Yeah.
Play patterns that cause fair decks to play ahead of the curve for little or no setup. So, discuss. Fair decks to play ahead of the curve for little or no setup. So, they're specifically speaking about decks that are not combo or control centric. Fair deck means aggro or mid-range. So, things that allow them to play ahead of the curve, like Soul Ring, Mana Crypt,
Dockside.
Yeah, any of the Moxen.
Dockside, Moxen. Okay, that's what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Grant too much consistency for control or combo decks. So what they're talking about here are cards like Ancestral Recall, Dig Through Time, Demonic Tutor.
That it is an unfun card.
Underworld Breach.
Yeah,
it gives you access to your entire graveyard.
That is, I will concede that, but there are ways to interact with the graveyard that are.
Yeah, there's also ways to interact with you drawing a billion cards or tutoring your library.
Yeah.
So that argument is moot. Create board states where multiple decks along the fair axis cannot play the game.
Yeah, those are stacks, right? Like that's the stacks thing. Like it.
So a prime example of this is Karn, the Great Creator, plus Mycosynth Lattice.
Yeah, there's a reason that Mycosynth Lattice is banned in
Modern.
Is it banned in Legacy?
No,
it's fine there.
Nope.
I suppose we got Force of Vigor and stuff.
Cause the game to slow down too much. Force of Vigor is also legal in Modern, by the way.
Yeah.
Cause the game to slow down too much.
That'd be Sensei's Divining Top.
I hate you so much. Leave it alone. Card is fine.
This is
players slow, top fine. But yes, this is the prime example of why Sensei's Divining Top is banned both in Modern and in Legacy, because it creates too many draw scenarios. So I played Counterbalance in Legacy for years, and I played it at GP, a Legacy GP, when I very first started playing the deck, and I drew four rounds in a row. I won round one and then drew.
So 1-0-4.
I did improve my top skills considerably over the years. Granted, I was like 16 or 17, I think. So I mean, there's
how much younger than me are you?
There's that. Like 3 or 4 years.
Because like when I was 16, top was like far off into the future. We're still playing with the old bordered stuff, man.
Maybe because you didn't have access to new cards.
No, when I was 16, it was 2000.
Yeah, I was 16 in 2003.
Oh, okay. So I guess Top wasn't that far after it, was it?
Top came out in 2001.
In my mind, like Top is a way newer card, but it is not. It is a mistake. Because it was like going into Modern frames, it was mirrored in directly into Kamigawa.
Yeah,
that's wild, man. That's wild. We didn't see a follow up to.
Kamigawa. So maybe it was a little bit closer to 2003 then when it came out, but I was definitely only 16 or 17 in that, because that was my very first GP ever. Yeah, and it was the summer after sophomore year, so I would have been 17 years old.
In response, I Top.
So,
crack my fetch.
The last one is they create an infinite combo with only 2 cards and no additional setup besides mana requirements are needed.
This is the biggest perpetrator.
These are the definitions that Wizards has given of unfair play patterns.
Yep. And I agree. I wholeheartedly agree.
So yeah, but it just like if this was the context that the RC used to create the Commander ban list, which is not, because again the RC is a completely separate entity from Wizards of the Coast. They make their own rules. The Commander ban list would be enormous,
and it would be different. It would not look anything like cards that are on there now. Are
okay. So here's a key difference between the RC's position on banning cards and Wizards' position on banning cards. Wizards' position is unfair. The RC's position is unfun.
Which is such a difficult metric to nail down. Unfair.
No, because fun is different for everybody.
Metric. Exactly. Mm-hmm. But fair is like an easy metric to really level. Like we have these metrics of like this does this, but then the RC is like this is unfun. And we're kind of going back into our topic from last week.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, Do it.
But I think like do I think that a 9 mana spell that requires a whole bunch of setup to win the game is unfun? No, that's great. You built your whole deck around it.
Right.
So I actually made a funny enough, I have a category of different card styles that I think create unfun or unfair board states.
You already have this made?
I already have this made.
Convenient. So lay it on
things, me. I've been working on this for a little while, and I can kind of break it out now. So categories that create unfun cards or unfair cards are things that are fast mana, like we talked about, playing ahead of curve. Yep. Right? Things like Black Lotus, Moxen, Soul Ring, Mana Vault, Mana Crypt, and Academy and Cradle. These are cards, some that are legal, some that are not legal. Mm-hmm. Tutors, things that create overwhelming consistency in your deck. Birthing Pod, Demonic Tutor, Gifts Ungiven. Some of these banned, some not. In Commander, things that abuse your life total specifically. Yeah. These are very specific, but also like very relevant. So things like Grizzlebrand, Yawgmoth's Bargain, Channel, and Necropotence. Mm-hmm. One of these is legal.
Yeah, I love a Necropotence.
And then my final category, which is just busted crap.
I love it.
Things like, which is effectively like things that are unfair because of power or allow you to do combos. And these are things like Ancestral Recall, Flash, Time Walk, Time Vault. These are just like busted cards that are busted because of they were early Magic design and they didn't get it right.
Okay, so yeah, well, the same can be said for recent Magic design. Where do you draw the line?
Yeah,
it's a good question.
Where do you draw the line? Because let me tell you about a card that I cannot stand. Mm-hmm. Teferi Time Raveler.
Talk about top 5 Planeswalkers, right?
Yes.
This card, the part of the card that is the most egregious, and I don't think this is as a big of a offender in Commander, because if you bring it down, it's probably going to die, right? It's probably going to die in multiplayer.
It could die.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, it turns the game off.
It doesn't protect itself super well in Commander either.
You basically bounce something and it goes to 1. It's much more effective in if you can play multiple copies of it.
So can we pause for a second, because I think Teferi Time Raveler is the most busted silence.
Really?
Yeah. You play him, he resolves. Okay, now they cannot interact with you.
I guess that's true.
You put your mana vault, or your mana crypt back into your hand and draw a card, and then you get to cast it again. So you net mana, you draw a card, they can't play spells, and you increase your storm count by 2.
I never considered that.
Card's cracked.
On the turns that you just...
Like, it's very good protection in Storm, but like, that's Storm.
Yeah, it's not nearly the same context as it is in, say, Modern or Pioneer before it was banned in Pioneer.
Bless.
This is also coming from a person who Teferi is my favorite character in all of Magic, and I will gladly cast a Teferi Time Raveler, but sitting across the table from one is miserable.
No.
Also, funny enough, you mentioned that I was casting Thalia Heretic Cathar. Mm-hmm. I can't stand that card either.
And yet you cast it. I gotta write a Spirit of the Format about Blake.
Please do. I would be honored. I would be honored.
Oh gosh. My article, it's sort of unhinged this week.
Oh, your article today was the best one that you have written so far.
I'm going to
give you hold on. I'm going to give you a direct quote from his article, patreon.com/MTG Dad's podcast.
Go down there.
Yeah.
Money.
Just to read the articles. They're very good. I put them up every week.
And I quote, "Get 12 mana and act like you're not a coward." It's funny because I know what it's talking about.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. It was a very unhinged article, but it was just the right amount.
It definitely it increases in velocity as you go down the article. Like as you read more,
It
it's
does.
like
It's great.
picks up steam. It's got a head of steam.
It was an excellent piece of satire that is also very true.
Yeah, like most satire, it's sort of highlighting what I think is just
So
like wants to be said.
From my perspective, as also a writer, I was reading this and I could feel your tension building because, like, if you've never read one of these articles before, the whole point is to demonstrate cards that are against the spirit of the format and commander that are also legal, and then to at the end of the article to offer a suggestion for what you should play instead of that super annoying card. And I could feel your tension building because you couldn't think of a less annoying card to play. And it was just making you more and more unhinged as you were writing it. Oh, well, it was good, man. It was good.
It's not even that I couldn't think of a less annoying card to play. It's that there are so many less annoying cards to play that do the exact same thing. It's like, I don't know, play deep analysis. Don't be an idiot. Like, you're going to draw a ton of cards and your opponent's not going to hate you at the end of that. Crazy.
Oh, man. What a ride.
So kind of circling back to the busted crap.
Yeah.
Kind of card category. I'm kind of surprised we didn't talk about Thassa's Oracle.
No, we should definitely talk about that card because I hate that card too.
Does anybody play that in Casual Commander?
I did for a little bit, but this was also after the Flash banning. And I don't think we can really beat around the bush that Thassa's Oracle got Flash banned Commander, but it was kind of justified.
Yeah.
And like, let's be honest, it was either one or the other.
So, I mean, I'm all for banning both of them.
Sure.
It has a place, and I can tell you with some amount of certainty that I believe that the card has actually made the CEDH metagame better.
They like it.
It's not that they like it.
Well, they appreciate its function.
It gives those kind of decks an instant win condition, which is something that they didn't have before.
Yeah, and like it's harder to disrupt than Flash Hulk was.
Yeah,
because you cannot interact profitably with a
right, and it also doesn't require you to play a bunch of like weird / bad cards.
Yeah. Like, as much as I like 6-mana Mikaeus, that card really sucks to hit off an Agnos.
So the thing about Thassa's Oracle is when people are just being like, for example, sitting down at a casual game where we're all trying to play and have fun, and I'm the deck that's over here kind of policing these other decks, and somebody is just like, okay, this game's over. And me, as the person who is being the fun police, can't do anything about that. I was like, okay, I guess the game's over. Well, you have that in your deck now, so.
Have you considered playing Mana Tithe?
Mana Tithe is in the deck, my friend.
Oh, we got Lapse of Certainty last night a bunch.
Jeremiah kept making the joke, "Are you certain?" And I didn't even see it coming. I should have. It was a solid joke.
I want that white, what is it? Remand.
Oh, Reprieve. Yeah, I think I opened 5 of them.
Can I have one?
Absolutely.
Can I get one?
Absolutely.
I will cast it.
They are yours. They are yours, my friends.
As a preview, I am putting together a different deck to play on Monday.
I'm also building a new deck.
Oh, let's talk. I want to hear yours first.
I'm not telling you.
Oh, you okay? I just want to know the colors.
I will give you one card that's in it.
Yes, good.
I can't remember the name of it. Hold on, you go first.
Okay. I will tell you the colors that it is, and also the card that's in it, and you'll understand both. Because it is one of your favorite cards, Blake. So this is an homage to you. You'll probably understand the deck at the same time. It is a Johnny Vengeant.
Ooh,
it's going to be in the deck.
He's my favorite planeswalker ever.
And I am an advocate for 2-color commander decks, so it is a Boros deck.
Sick.
Which historically underpowered.
Is this Oh, I know what this deck is. It's your Canadian Highlander polymorph deck.
Yeah, that's going to be.
And is it Luca and Mina?
Yeah,
the flick. Oh, ooh,
yeah.
let's go.
Yeah, and it's not running, like, obviously it's not running any Titans. I'm just running like Primeval, like not Primeval Titan, but what is it?
Inferno Titan?
And like the Gear Hulk, combustible Gear Hulk, Sun Titan. So like I'm not transmogrifying into like busted game ending stuff. I'm just transmogrifying into like six drops that are kind of fun to play.
I like this a lot. So I will give you one card that is in my deck. It's Storm of Sauruman.
Oh.
So this is a 6 mana enchantment. It has Ward 3 and it says whenever you cast your second spell each turn, copy it. Except the copy isn't legendary. You may choose new targets for the copy.
Interesting. What's the mana cost on that?
6.
What colors though?
4 blue.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so we're definitely in. Yeah, I can sort of see the theming on this. This
is a me card though. That card has my name written all over it. And Roland is here and Charlie is barking, and that means that this episode of LLLC is over. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us while we went on and on about unfair versus unfun. And we really appreciate you. And we will definitely see you guys in the next one.
And I'll be playing more Commander, I promise.
Bet. Bye.
Bye.